Reading the Kingdom is back. It is the 2024 season. It has been far, far too long. Coach and I are back in the fold. It has been a very long break. We haven't been with you guys since pre-draft, I think. So this is
Yeah,
been a
I think it
long
was
time coming.
April.
Yeah, this is a long time
Yep.
coming. But we are here just in time. We're recording on Tuesday night. We've got our big week one preview episode. Coach and I are hungry for the season to start. And before we get into our predictions, Coach, maybe a word from our lovely sponsor over there at Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog Fantasy. So, as some of you might know, there's a thing going around on Twitter right now about a FSU fan that said, if they lose to Boston College, that he was going to eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup. That is what you will have to do if you do not use promo code RTK Underdog for week one of fantasy. I don't know how I'm going to enforce it with everybody, but it's kind of like one of those like Scouts honors things. It's like you got to be held accountable. So just use RTK. You know, they'll match you up to $100. Like I said, it's the beginning of the season. It's fun. There's a lot of good bets out there. Like for instance, there's a bet out there over under like a half a point on Travis Kelce getting a touchdown week one. I would bet that all day. I 1,000% believe him and Mahomes will hook up on a touchdown for week one to celebrate the another Super Bowl. But that's just one of them. I'll give you a couple more throughout the episode. But yeah, RTK Underdog, they're a great sponsor. We're thinking about maybe getting a pick'em league or just a regular draft league together for all the listeners. We just got to hear them in the comments and stuff like that. If you guys want to do that and make it fun, make it like a $1, $2 entry, and just make it fun. But yeah, RTK Underdog, great sponsor, and definitely don't want to eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup. So just use that promo code.
There you go. Use the promo code Play It Safe. Get your $100 match and make some money. I did a season-long pick'em bet last year, and I won $1,000 off Underdog Fantasy. Love it. So the money is there for the taking, so get after it. Mm-hmm. But, we've got week one. The season is here. Training camp is over. The preseason nonsense is over. I'm done with the preseason overreactions. Like last year, DTR was the second coming of Christ. Right now, he's fighting for a roster spot. Like, let's mellow out. Let's get back to reality. And week one is starting. So, Coach, we have an amazing Thursday night football game. Last year, you guys, as the defending Super Bowl champs, had the Lions. It didn't go so well. Now you have the Baltimore Ravens led by Lamar Studley Jackson. Just made that up.
Studley Jackson. Okay.
What to look for in this game? Let's go.
Well, it's fun to open the season again, and get our rings and have the whole ceremony, and then you get to watch that, and all the Raiders fans get to watch the Chiefs, going for the three-peat.
Wow.
So yeah, but hopefully it goes. Episode. Yeah, hopefully it goes a little bit better than last year. But yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at the Ravens, and they somehow improved, right? They bring in Derrick Henry, who still have miles left on the tread. I don't know how many, but if he's got enough for one more season of Derrick Henry type football, then that's enough, and that makes them just that much more dangerous. Especially when you got Lamar Jackson, who we all know is just probably, I would say he's probably the most athletically gifted quarterback in the league, maybe all time. Just his ability, maybe not all time, because I'd still probably give that to Vic, but up there in the top echelon of most athletic quarterbacks ever, right? Just can beat you with his arm, can beat you with his feet. And then when you got Derrick Henry in the backfield, blocking for him and also having him as a threat to take the ball makes it dangerous. Zay Flowers, they got Mark Andrews. I mean, they have great weapons. Their defense is still the Ravens defense, and they overall they're a great team. They're definitely one of the prime contenders to take Kansas City's spot and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. So it'll be a tough game, but that's when you're the champs, you're going to get everyone's best. You got that target on your back. No one really wants to see the Chiefs, other than obviously Chiefs fans, go for a three-peat, because it's just not the thing most other fan bases want. So, we got a tough road ahead of us. And I'm looking forward to it, though. It's fun. It's prime time. All the lights are shining, and that's when Mahomes and the boys usually perform their best. So we'll hope for a good win this year. Unlike last year, which was a great game against the Lions. They just got the best of us. So yeah, it was a great game. And the Lions obviously were an up and coming team, and they're even more up and coming this year. More what's the word? Just I guess more expectations on them. But
they're seasoned at this point now. They're competitors for sure. But yeah, we don't.
Yeah, they're seasoned. But yeah, we're ready to rock and roll, and that's for damn sure.
Well, we know that like week one, we're always going to see some kind of uncharacteristic things. Like there's usually one or two blowouts that you're like, what the heck? And then whatever team blew the other one out, then they're ghosts for like the next 5 weeks. Sometimes we just see that weird, teams got to get into a rhythm. Like what was it? Packers played, I think it might've been the Bucks week one. And it was like a 31-3, like borderline shutout massacre. And then the Packers ended up like going to the NFC Championship and it was a whole thing, but
yeah, it's some teams, can jump off the bat better than other teams. So we're hoping Kansas City does that. I'm looking, if we're I'm going to jump ahead here, looking at some players to watch on Kansas City. We have more expectations on Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's going to just, he's obviously the clear cut number one back. People realize that, in fantasy drafts too, people are drafting Isaiah Pacheco high because they know that Kansas City's going to run the ball, and he's established himself as I would think one of the top running backs in the league, just based on the offensive line, the way the offense runs. And he's going to, I think he'll have a really good season, and he holds himself accountable. He wants to get 1,000 yards. He wants to get a bunch of TDs. He wants to be that guy. And, 7th round pick. So the value's there, and that's what Kansas City finds. And it's how you stay champions, is by finding those pieces. Xavier Worthy, super excited to see what he does. Obviously kind of like an undersized guy. Yeah. kind of undersized in the sense of like a Deshaun Jackson, but just faster than, his mom always said that he's never had a quarterback that can actually, fully, he can never use his speed fully because a quarterback couldn't get him the ball fast enough. Mahomes is obviously the exception to that. So it'll be interesting to see their connection. Got to wait a couple of weeks for Hollywood Brown, but and the stalwart of that team, Mr. Man Beautiful, Travis Kelce, is I think this might be the last ride, but I think it'll be a good one, and I think it'll be a good finale for him. I just think that I'm going to call it now. That's my early season. This might be it for Man Beautiful, but that's okay. I'm
you think he's going to retire and hang out with his brother after?
Yeah, they got all that money for the podcast, and he's going to be 35
in the world or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I think it'll be good for him though. So I think he's got one more year left in him, and then we'll see. He's gonna go be a movie star and do all that other fun stuff. But yeah, so feeling good though, And we didn't really lose anybody in the offseason. Obviously we lost Darius Sneed. Yeah, Juju Smith is back. So we got Chris Jones happy, we got the defense happy. I think the Cam Thomas trade that they made, I think is gonna be big. To get another good edge rusher, and I can never say his name. Samaje Perine. No, he always killed us when he was on the Bengals. And I think he'll be a great third down back. And props to the Chiefs. Also, I'll say this for what they're doing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He had that armed robbery way back when that he's still suffering from, a little PTSD. So they're still paying him while he's on the unable to perform list. So good on them for taking care of a guy that's,
Is Clyde out? Clyde's out for 4 weeks.
He's out for 4 weeks. He's not someone obviously that we like base our run game off of, or like he's an integral part of the team, but he's still a member of the team. He's still on the 53. So we're taking care of him. And so props to the Chiefs for stepping up and promoting that, mental health is something that we need to look for and take care of.
Agreed. We'll get into our full slate of predictions after I do my Raiders Chargers preview. But what are you saying right now about the Chiefs and Ravens prediction?
I'm going to go 31 score wise.
Yes.
I'm going to go 31 Chiefs, 27 Ravens. I feel like they will get the win on week one. Like I said, I think Pacheco's going to get a touchdown. Mr. Kelsey's going to get a touchdown. And I think they're going to get Mr. Worthy in there as well. And obviously, Butker, the butt kicker, will get a field goal as well. And I think it'll be a great game. They'll keep it close to the end, and the Chiefs will pull away and get that dub.
I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Ravens 35, Chiefs 31. Lamar Jackson runs in the final rushing touchdown of the game. Done deal. But then the Ravens will lose like 2 of the next 4, and then you guys will bounce back, and that'll be the natural way of my life suffering. But just wishful thinking, so we'll see. But either way, I am so glad it's back. I cannot wait for Thursday night. A lot of fantasy writing on this. I got Lamar Jackson in 2 leagues, so I'll be up and at him watching that one.
Yeah.
So next, we'll preview my boys, Raiders. We're going to LA against the Chargers, another home game for us because Chargers don't have any fans. Everyone knows this. Side note, we will accept comments on YouTube and Facebook where we're streaming right now. If I like your comment, I'll read it out loud. If I get one like I did just a recent ago, I'm not going to read it. Not safe for the workplace, if you will, nor is it relevant to football. So thank you for whoever that was. None of those comments. But if you have other comments, type them in and I'll read them out if they're worth something, or put them on the bottom ticker there. So anyway, so the Raiders play the Chargers, where this is a new season. We routinely go 1-1 with them. Last year we did have our massacre game, 63-21 or whatever that final score ended up being, Sin City Massacre. So we'll see what happens this year. I am not super concerned about the Chargers. Anyone saying that I'm seeing a lot of the NFL Network predictions are giving the Chargers the edge in this. I look at the depth chart in their receiving core and I don't understand. I know Justin Herbert is a game make he's a game manager. He's more than a game manager. He's a playmaker. But he's working with Josh Palmer, DJ Chark, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Brickhands Johnson, and Brendan Rice. Not exactly the most stunning group of receivers. The Raiders, I feel like, are loaded on both sides of the ball, with the exception of the most important position, which is the quarterback. Gardner Minshew is the starter. AOC is the backup. Jacoby Myers is our emergency backup QB. It's just a scary situation right now. I really don't have the utmost faith in either of them, which is why I was already pushing for the Raiders to take Cam Ward next year. I'm already looking at rookie quarterbacks for the 2025 season because this is just so depressing for me. I have a feeling Davante Adams will be gone by week 6, week 8, something like that. That poor guy can only handle so much, and we're putting cheap gas in a Lamborghini, and it is so sad to watch. So while I don't have a ton of faith in the quarterback position, I think the rest of the cast, Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, Jack Jones, the dogs on defense are really going to bring it. And the Chargers offensive line is above average. But Justin Herbert can get rattled. This kid keeps getting hurt. I think there's a real chance to kind of mess with him early in the game. And Max Crosby is the man for that. And all Gardner Minshew has to do is throw 2 touchdowns, and we could have ourselves a ball game here. So I'm going to go with the Raiders winning 21-17. That's going to be my prediction. I'll be really sad if I'm wrong. But it's a home game for us. It's in LA. There's going to be silver and black all over the stadium, and we're going to take it over. And we need a big win to just kick this thing off right, so Antonio Pierce can keep his job, and Davante Adams will hopefully stick around to get somebody decent in 2025. But I'm not terribly excited just based on what I know that the product we're putting on the field is as far as a quarterback goes. This needs to be addressed, and they just refuse to do it. I know they supposedly tried, but my Jaden Daniels dreams for months were dashed. Didn't
try hard enough. And I think we talked about this, obviously not on stream or anything like that. We talked about Jameis Winston, how that I think would have been a good option for you. Yep. Just because granted he could go 5 touchdowns one game, 5 interceptions the next game, but he's just such a good locker room guy. And I think Minshew is too, but Jameis Winston's a former number 1 overall pick. So there's a little validity to that, but the Raiders are going to do what they do. And
Raiders going to Raider.
Raiders going to Raider. And eventually, they're going to give Antonio Pierce more than just a year, depending how you can't give him Gardner Minshew and expect him to win a Super Bowl. So,
right.
It is what it is, and you just going to have to ride with it, man.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I really think that all the pieces are in place. We'll see how Zamir White goes as the number 1 running back with Josh Jacobs heading to Green Bay.
Him in fantasy. I think he'll be good.
And Josh Jacobs, who I'm not a big fan of, though, I did like that he said the Chiefs pursued him, and he just couldn't bring it upon himself to join them, although he probably would get a ring if he did. But he elected to go to Wisconsin and take over Aaron Jones's. I'll say it's loyalty, but he wasn't all that loyal to us in the first place, and he still left nonetheless.
Yeah.
That kid's all about that money. So you do what you got to do. It is what it is. But the only thing about the Chargers that may make me nervous is I heard that our run defense throughout the preseason training camp was a little bit suspect. Tyree Wilson, our 7th overall pick from 2022, really has not done, the 2023 season, 2023 draft, whatever, who Eric and I actually did meet. He has done not much at all in his career so far, and I know he's only a sophomore player, but he's really not playing as a first-round pick, and we're going to pay for it if our run defense, because we know that John Harbaugh in LA is going to want to run the ball down our throats, and he's got basically the old Ravens running back core with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, so they're going to be on the ground a lot. You can only do so much, I think, when you have Justin Herbert. You can't let him just hand the ball off all game because he's a weapon. But that part does make me nervous if we get gashed in the run game time and time again. So the Chargers definitely have a chance to exploit that. But we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. So now we do a season-long predictions battle. And what did you have to buy me last year?
I got you that jersey.
Which one? Jack Jones. You got me my Jack Jones jersey. Beautiful. So Coach and I are starting fresh again. Coach gave up pretty much after like week 8 last year.
Yeah, it was bad. I was trying to be all smart and
Right. So what's your strategy? What's your strategy this year then?
Not trying to be smarter than anyone else. Just go with
just go with
the sure things.
I mean, so already we have a difference of opinion with the Chiefs and the Ravens, and I gave you my Chargers Raiders prediction. You want to give me your Chargers Raiders?
I liked what you picked. I think the 21-17s for the Raiders I think is fair. I think that could potentially definitely be the score and the outcome of the game.
Oh, look at that! Pick my boys. Okay, love it. So Coach and I 1-1 to differentiate for week 1, but we'll get right into it. Coach, I'll give you the Friday night game in Brazil: Packers versus Eagles.
Packers versus Eagles. What a shit show. I mean, I know what the NFL is trying to do, expand the game, but you're going to go to Brazil, which is just a crime hotbed. I mean, they can't even leave their hotel room. Something's going to happen, I feel like. But I am going to take the Eagles in this game, just over experience. And I just in this situation, I'm for some reason I'm trusting the Eagles. I think it could really go either way. No one's on their home turf. Everyone's kind of out of it, but I'll just take the Eagles in this one.
I'm going Eagles as well. I mean, I don't see how they don't, if those Georgia players can kind of turn it up. And I mean, they have Saquon now. Who's the receiver they just picked up just to add to
Dotson?
Yeah, so you got Dotson on top of
Dotson,
on top of AJ Brown, on top of Devontae Smith, on top of Dallas Goedert. Like, come on, man! Like,
yeah, they got plenty of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, they bombed this year. Sirianni's on the hot seat for sure, but
Sirianni's gone.
If they don't make a deep push this year, he's gone for sure. I also am going to take the Eagles. Our old co-host Austin would probably want to argue that one with us, but I also don't like the Brazil setting. The Packers are still a very young team. This much of a road game is still going to be a challenge for them. I just don't see it ending well. I think it's smart to at least get it over with in the beginning of the season. I don't like these international games. It is what it is. It's not like I don't want international people to be able to see the games, but it wreaks havoc on the player's schedule. So
yeah,
keep it homegrown for a while. Next, I've got a not great matchup. 1:00, the first slate on Sunday. Patriots versus Bengals. I'm going Bengals.
Bengals. We don't need to say anything else other than Bengals.
No, both going Bengals. Coach, you've got the Vikings versus the New York Football Giants.
I am going to take the Giants.
I am as well.
I'm going to take the Giants.
I can't put my faith in Sam Darnold. I just cannot do it.
Yeah, it's going to be like two dudes trying to put a circle in a square peg. But when it comes to Daniel Jones and him, but I'm gonna take the Giants. Take the G-men.
Yep. I'm going G-men as well. Next, I've got Pittsburgh versus the Falcons. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. I don't know. Mike Tomlin always makes it happen.
I'm gonna go Dirty Birds.
I'm going Dirty Birds as well. I think Kirk Cousins, there's not going to be much of a settling in period for him. He's an experienced vet. He's got a ton of weapons at his disposal. There's no Arthur Smith in the picture anymore. Coach and I are both going Falcons and over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coach, you've got the Cardinals versus the Buffalo Bills. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s debut.
Cardinals. I'm going to go Cardinals, man. I think
Whoa,
the Cardinals.
Coach.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals are going to surprise some people this year. I think they obviously got their stud wide receiver. I think Kyler Murray's got something to prove. And if you're, like we talked about with Kyler Murray before, I mean, he's the all-time. He's the greatest high school quarterback in the state of Texas. That's saying something. With his ability, he's the number one pick for a reason. I think he's been very up and down. But I think that Kyler is going to be on a mission this year to kind of prove people that he is who we thought they were, who they thought he was, which is, an athletically gifted quarterback, a little bit undersized, but he's got that dog in him. And I think he's going to come out and try and prove it this year because, he was gone all last year for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't trust really, other than Dalton Kincaid, anyone really in Buffalo around Josh Allen. Josh Allen's good enough to win games, obviously on his own, but you got Cook too, but I'm just not sold on Buffalo yet. They got to show me something now that they don't got Diggs and what's his face that went to the
Jordan Poyer. Or no, he got hurt though. Or something.
Not Jordan Poyer, the other wide receiver that went to the Jaguars. Whatever his name is. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so the Bills have something to prove to me.
All right, I'm going to take the Bills. Just overall experience. There's going to be some mesh for the. They got Trey Benson, McBride over there in Arizona, but I think just to get the whole squad assembled and Kyler, there's questions about his work ethic and things like that. I just don't know how much they're going to come out firing out the gates. I'm going to go with Buffalo, but like you said, I am skeptical. Keon Coleman, supposedly their number one, a rookie. It could be a whole mixed bag of tricks, but I'll just take Buffalo with the experience to take out the Cardinals. So we'll see about that. So we got a differentiating of opinion on that one. Next, I've got the Titans versus the Bears. I hate to say it. I think I'm going to take the Bears. That receiving core is scary. The run game will probably be decent with DeAndre Swift. Their O-line has gotten a little bit better. There's still some questions there, but the Titans, I just think getting rid of Mike Vrabel was the best way to make your team ineffective this year. He had those guys motivated. I don't care what you say. They're not going to play as good without him. And Will Levis, the guy's going to get killed if he keeps playing the way he plays. So I'm going Bears.
Yeah, I think
you're going with the Monsters of Midway.
Yeah, through the Monsters of Midway.
All right, Coach, you've got Texans versus Colts.
Dude, I have to say this. I really cannot take your hat backwards. You're like an old dude trying to be like, oh, dude, bro, what's up, bro? In high school. But you're cool.
What's up, fellow kids?
What's up, guys? I took
I wear backwards hats all the time.
Yeah, it's a cool guy. Cool guy. But what was it? Sorry, I was distracted.
I'm going to take your turn from you if you can't remember it.
Remind me.
Texans Colts.
Richardson versus CJ Stroud. I am going to take the Texans. They're a team that I am nervous about with the Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, everybody they got there. They got Joe Mixon now. They got a great squad. They got a great defense. They got a great head coach. They are a team that in the future and now is obviously, I think, a threat to Kansas City and what we're going to be able to do. So I think the Texans are going to have a very good season. They came out of nowhere last year, and now people kind of know about them. The expectations have risen, but I think that they're going to be a very good team. So I'm going to take them.
Wow,
a threat. Be a tough game.
City. You haven't called anyone that yet. A threat to Kansas City.
I with the talent that they have, and you got to hope that CJ Stroud makes that next leap is, in his second year. Yeah, you'd be naive to think that they're not a threat.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm going to agree with you. I think the Texans are going to take him. Anthony Richardson, his couple games were a nice flash in the pan, but we didn't get to see any sustainability out of him. I avoided him in fantasy just because I don't know. I don't trust. I'm not positive, but I am positive that CJ Stroud was a great pick for them, and they killed that draft. So Texans it is. Jags versus Miami. I'm going Miami. High-powered offense. It's still warm out. No questions asked. Miami for the win. Coach, you've got Panthers versus Saints.
I'll take the Saints.
I will also take the Saints. The Panthers.
Dennis Allen is also like probably the worst head coach in football. I don't know what they're really doing down there in New Orleans. I get they don't want to pay Alvin Kamara, but they got talent. and I'm hoping that I need Keandre Miller. That's a big thing for my fantasy too. Keandre, my bro, you need to get off that IR and do something.
Yeah, that team was a disappointment last year, and they're probably going to continue to be a disappointment with my boy. Well, 2 former Raiders, Dennis Allen and Derek Carr over there, but yeah, just not really getting it together. But the Panthers are an absolute dumpster fire, and they'll probably continue to be one as long as David Tepper is the owner of that team.
Yeah.
So I think Deontay Johnson was like the 30-something ranked player in fantasy, and he didn't get picked till like the 9th round. Astonishing.
Yeah, he's one of my wide receivers, so I'm hoping he does something.
Oh God! All right, so the 4:00 games, we both took the Raiders over the Chargers. Broncos versus Seattle. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I know your boy Nick, who's been on the show, was talking up Bo Nix.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? Nick's going to be a contributor this year. We're just going to get him on today. Sorry, Nick, if you're watching this. Sorry, but he's out saving the world. That guy.
Not for the inaugural episode, pal.
Yeah, STL_Bronco for people that want to talk shit to him. I'm going to take the Broncos, man. I think Bo Nix.
Oh my!
I'm going to take the Broncos. Yeah, I'm not really sold on Seattle. You know, it's a transition after the Pete Carroll era. And I will take that's for you, Nick. So I expect
their receiving core is also one of the scariest ones in the non-offensive way. I feel like they don't. There's nothing there. It's Cortland Sutton, and that's it.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
The Chargers, like you look at. Oh man, I think they just look so weak on paper, and I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. So I'm going to go Seattle. You got the Broncos. We got a couple to make this spicy already, Coach. See who takes the lead this week.
Week 1 could determine a lot.
It sure can. 425, Cowboys versus Browns. I am not a Deshaun Watson believer. I am a Myles Garrett believer, but the Cowboys O-line should hold up. Dak wants a deal or he wants out. CeeDee Lamb just got paid. He's got to show him that he's earned those bucks. Their run game is going to be susceptible, I think. I mean, they got battle of the has-beens, Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott, but I'm still going to take the Cowboys. I think it's a high-powered offense. Mm-hmm. I think I've predicted that Fat Mike is going to get fired for the last 3 seasons, and he's still floating. So
you're undermining, I think, Cleveland's defense here, but I think it's going to be a close game, and I think Dallas ultimately pulls it out.
I said I'm a Myles Garrett believer. I just said I'm not.
I mean, that's just one of their many weapons on defense. But yeah, I'll take the Cowboys as well. Tough game, but
Cowboys as well. Should be a decent one. Next, this one I struggled with. Coach, this one's for you. Commanders versus Tampa Bay.
I'm going to take the Commanders.
You are.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders. I think Jane Daniels has a big game to start it all off. I think Scary Terry has himself a good game as well. And I think they get a dub week 1. What's his face? What's their coach now? It's the old D coordinator for the
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Yeah. Not the head coach I thought they would have picked, but yeah. I mean, I really think that Jaden Daniels is going to be the best quarterback out of the 2024 class. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I traded Kyler Murray for him, which could be a risk in one of my fantasy leagues, but that's how much of a believer I am. But I am going to take the Bucs in this one. I think they're not a well-oiled machine, but the chemistry is there. Baker, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rachaad White, it's all there. The Commanders have a lot of work to do with the rookie quarterback starting week 1. We are gone from the era where the rookie quarterback sits for the whole year or half the season, or Mahomes and Alex Smith. It's just not a thing anymore. You're drafted, you're a rookie, you're starting. That's how it goes. So good luck to him, but I think Tampa's gonna take this one. So we'll see.
Okay.
Coach, Sunday Night Football. Oh, this one's mine. Rams versus Lions. I kind of struggled with this one.
I'm gonna go Lions.
You're going Lions.
Yep.
So I'm gonna differentiate on this one again. I'm gonna put the Rams up on the board with a W. I think that their offense is possibly equally as high-powered as the Lions. I've heard during some of the training camp scrimmages, which I don't like to read too much into the preseason stuff, but the Lions weren't as sharp as they'd like them to be on defense. I think the Rams could chew them up with healthy Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, the whole squad, Matt Stafford. I'm going Rams over the Lions.
Okay, I'm going Lions.
And that's our Sunday Night Football game, and then we go right into Monday night. Coach, you get the final pick. This is a tough one. Jets versus Niners in St. Francisco.
Niners, man. The Jets, they're apparently in disarray. The Niners got everything locked in as far as Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk. They got their squad back. Christian McCaffrey's back. He's healthy. So yeah, I'm gonna go Niners.
I'm going Niners as well. They're going to be coming off hot. Ayuk got his deal. Trent Williams is back. They just came off another Super Bowl loss. They need to get back in the show before it's too late. So I also am going to take the Niners. Coach and I differentiated on quite a few games here, so we're going to keep this tally going. Don't give up after week 1, Coach, when I inevitably win.
Never accept defeat.
No. So we usually do an award of excellence with a name that's not synonymous with excellence. Last year was Jackson Mahomes. This year we're going to do something different. Coach, do you come up with a name, or are we saving that for week 2?
We're saving that for week 2.
Week 2, because we don't have any news this week. Everyone's just getting ready, getting jacked. I went to the gym today, and I'm seeing Packers, Eagles, Raiders all over the place. And I love it when this time of year rolls around. Summer's over, people, but it's football season.
With your Not Like Us shirt, is it like not like us, but we actually win? Is that
so? You are the second person to say that to me today.
Yeah.
Cool. No, it's with the Kendrick Lamar song.
You always will have Christmas, man. You'll always have Christmas.
I'll always have Christmas, yeah. Until Christmas. Well, we don't play you guys at Christmas this year, but
no.
Hey, I heard Mahomes talking about it to Chris Sims on his podcast interview the other day. We're living rent free in his head. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
he's
wait till we play that first game in Kansas City. Just wait.
Well, in that second game in Kansas City, I will be.
The first game's in Vegas. Second game's in KC.
First game's in Vegas. Second game in KC. You're picking me up from the airport.
Yep.
And there we go. So everyone, Underdog Fantasy, hit us up. Promo code RTK. Deposit 100, get 100 matched up. Underdog is literally the easiest fantasy app to use.
Yep.
Not available in Connecticut, but pretty much every other state. And Coach and I use it all the time, and it's fantastic.
It is.
So get on it. It support us, support them, get it done. Coach, any more words for the people before we sign off?
It's fun to be back. There's not really an excuse for us not to have been gone as long as we have.
Some excuses. I'm just not sharing them on the.
We were not sharing them. There's some excuses on. But we, like I said, we're glad to be back. We're going to be bringing you the premier Chiefs Raiders, the one and only Chiefs and Raiders podcast out there. The best. Unlike the rest, even though we're the only ones, but we're unique. We're back. We're ready to rock, and we can't wait for the rest of the season. So go enjoy week 1, no matter what your team is, and just be glad football's back. Your weekends are now. You got college football on Saturday. You got football, Thursday, Sunday, Monday with NFL. So be jacked up and ready to go.
Tell your wives, tell your girlfriends, tell your boyfriends, whoever it may be. Your Sundays are booked from here on out, and Thursday nights and Monday nights. It's a done deal. All right. Peace out, everyone. We'll see you next week. Send us your comments.
Good.